set to go. And they're off. They race away from the top of the Roley Mile for the listed Betfred Pretty Polly Stakes over the 1.25 miles. And it's Life is Beautiful, the first one to show in the moves maroon silks. Falakeyah racing a little keenly toward the outside, now pressing into the lead, in fact, in those royal blue and white silks. So Falakeyah goes on from Life is Beautiful. Racing handy in third is Trad Jazz in that yellow jacket. Over toward the far side is Queen, those orange sleeves and cap. And the white and blue for Janie Mackers, the stars on the sleeve. Red, white and blue for Anna Swan. And tucked in last of them, the green and white stripes of San Gazelle. Travelling through the end of the opening 3 furlongs now. And it's Falakeyah. He won on debut back in the winter, still racing pretty keenly. Toes them along to a 1.5 length lead. To Life is Beautiful in second. To her outside is Trad Jazz, 2 from 2 so far in her career. Then Queen, who's just in advance of Janie Mackers. Then came Anna Swan towards the outside, and San Gazelle still tucked in behind in the hands of Kieran Schumacher. They've gone nearly through the opening 3 parts of a mile now, and it's Falakeyah who bounds along out in front. Has developed now a 2.5 length cushion over Life is Beautiful in second. Then to the right-hand side, Trad Jazz and the yellow jacket, Queen, just a bit of a shake of the reins in fourth. San Gazelle is trying to edge closer. Then Janie Mackers is a bit outpaced at this point, and so too Anna Swan, as Falakeyah travels strongly as they head towards the final 2.5 furlongs. Has got away still by this handy 3-length margin. The rest are all at it in behind. Life is Beautiful being pushed along, then Queen. San Gazelle to the left-hand side, trying to make up the ground, and then came Trad Jazz into the dip. It's still Falakeyah. Is clear by 3 lengths to the rallying far side San Gazelle. Then Life is Beautiful. Between those is Queen. Rising the hill toward the final half of furlong. It's Falakeyah still nicely on top. Queen trying hard between horses late, but Falakeyah is going to make it 2 out of 2. Wins the Pretty Polly. Falakeyah the winner. From Life is Beautiful for second. Queen third. Then San Gazelle clear from Trad Jazz and Janie Mackers, and a long way back to Anna Swan.
What a great start to the day for Jim Crowley. Aboard a filly who obviously had a big reputation coming into the race. Jim, what did you make of her through it?
She was very impressive. She jumped, travelled strongly, and I thought she was putting in some good fractions, but she was always doing it very comfortably in herself. And like I said, I wasn't quite sure what to find because her maiden hadn't worked out at all from Wolverhampton. It was a very poor race, but her work had been very good. She'd been actually showing good speed. And I said to everyone, we might not be wanting to go too far with her because she doesn't, she looks a big girl and she's got a big stride in her, but she really covers the ground. So I was pleased with how she won today because she'd been showing that at home.
So with all that taken into account, Owen seemed to suggest that we should be holding off on thinking of Epsom and a 1.5 miles for her for the moment. Yeah,
that's probably wouldn't be a bad shout. It'd be up to everybody at Shadwell to weigh up all our options. She is a big girl, and I'm not saying she won't stay because she probably will, but we'll just have to wait and see. But a sign of a good filly is that they can, they've got to have a bit of speed, and she seems to have that.
And what about the track here today for her and the way she handled the undulations? Changed her legs a few times, it was noticeable?
Yeah, for sure. Look, she was, like I said, she is a big girl, and she has got a little bit of a rounder action on her, and the ground is quite quick today. She handled it, but I'd say she'd be even better with a bit of juice in the ground.
Well done.
Thank you. Thanks.
Owen Burrows had a big smile on his face after that performance. Talk me through your impressions of what she's done today.
Look, you've got to be obviously very impressed with her. There was no real plan as such. We just sort of said, see where she lands out the gates, and she's a big filly, big stride. We didn't want to be pulling her out of that, and she sort of set her own fractions and did it the hard way as such.
Did she surprise you of how she went through the race in terms of how she handled the undulations, how she handled this track here today at Newmarket?
Well, you always hope they will. She's obviously only a once-race filly who, won on the all-weather at the back end. So you never know until you try them. But she's a well-balanced filly, and you hope they go on it. So I see she just sort of changed the legs a couple of times in the dip, but she's entitled to. It looks very exciting.
Very exciting, because everyone's going to be talking about the fact she's got the entry at Epsom. Is that the plan?
Well, look, we'll have a chat with Team Shadwell as such, and Jim just said there 1.5 miles might just be far enough for her. So put it this way, I wouldn't tell anybody to be backing her for the Oaks yet.
Obviously, you've come here on her second start after winning on the all-weather. Just how much do you think of her? How highly do you rate her?
Look, she showed us a fair level at home last year. I trained the half-sister, actually, who always promised to be a nice filly, and look, she was a sort of mid-80 filly, won a few times, slightly unlucky at Royal Ascot in the mile fillies handicap, but you hope that this filly sort of showing the same, but goes on and shows what we're seeing at home. But yeah, look, she's got a bit more scope than that filly, and mine's a bit better as well.
Well done.
Thanks.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.